warm, it's raining, it's snowing. That's it.
One of our most favorite franchises ever, ambush makeovers.
Okay.
Look at it. It doesn't look so good.
No, it doesn't look good.
Will you judge us in a cook-off?
I will, and you guys will definitely win something.
Today, all day.
All day?
All day.
Welcome to Today, All Day. Oh, hey, look. It's our Today All Day
they came
family.
back.
You guys are so nice. We're happy that you're with us on a Friday. I'm here with my pal, Savannah Guthrie. Hey.
Oh, hey, Hoda.
You're watching our digital show Today in 30.
So are they. It's
Yeah.
a half hour of everything you need to know to catch up from our show earlier this morning. We're going to start with much more on that major development in the fight against COVID.
Yeah, it's a surprise move. Overruling her own agency, the CDC director cleared the way for millions of Americans to get Pfizer's booster shot starting today. We'll have everything that you need to know.
Plus, we're going to take a look at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's trip here to New York City, why it's being heavily scrutinized on the other side of the pond.
And we are ending the week with the new king of Las Vegas. Barry Manilow is here. He's got a big surprise for one of his biggest fans, and you're not going to want to miss it. So let's get started.
You know what? I just love that song, Mandy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Mandy, well, you came and you gave without taking, but I sent you away. Okay,
It's time for
Today in 30.
We want to get right to the breaking news overnight on Pfizer's booster shot. The director of the CDC officially signing off on that extra dose for millions of Americans.
But in a highly unusual move, she went further than the recommendations from the CDC's own panel of advisors, siding with the FDA and including people at high risk of COVID because of their jobs. NBC national correspondent Miguel Almaguer has the latest on this twist. Miguel, good morning.
Savannah, good morning. Dr. Rochelle Walensky's recommendation, for the most part, falls in line with the CDC's safety committee. But as you mentioned, she did add one the group rejected, allowing frontline healthcare workers and other high-risk workers like teachers to also qualify for boosters. And now those extra shots could start going into arms right away.
Overnight, healthcare workers becoming the latest Americans to qualify for a booster. In a highly unusual decision, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky overruling one recommendation rejected by a panel of advisors. Walensky saying those frontline workers and others at high risk for catching COVID because of their jobs can now also receive their third dose of Pfizer's vaccine. They join those 65 and over, residents of long-term care facilities, people 50 to 64 years old with underlying conditions, and some Americans 18 to 49 with chronic health problems who can get a booster 6 months after their second dose. Of the roughly 100 million Americans who are fully vaccinated with Pfizer, well over 11 million can now immediately get a booster.
The decision today is critical because it's answering a question all Americans are asking: who should get boosters and when?
After weeks of booster confusion and the initial news they wouldn't qualify, essential workers like Regina Hartley, an elementary school librarian, can now get a shot of added protection.
Sometimes I feel like we can't be our best if we're worrying about, what we might catch from a student in our school or from another teacher.
With over 180 million Americans fully inoculated, there's still no clear booster timeline for adults under 65 vaccinated with Pfizer, or the 45% of Americans inoculated with Moderna or Johnson & Johnson. The staggered rollout of boosters will happen at pharmacies, clinics, and doctors' offices. Some healthcare providers say they're already being pressured to offer doses to those who don't qualify.
Many people are asking why they don't have that opportunity already.
This morning, the battle over boosters still underway, as many seek an extra shot of protection and others face a dose of frustration.
So it's so interesting, Miguel, to see how this has developed. Now the CDC director and the FDA are in agreement about who's eligible for those boosters. But, the Biden administration had hoped to actually authorize them for everybody. What was the argument against doing that?
Well, experts think the data simply isn't there, Savannah. Despite the Delta variant, they say the vast majority of Americans are still protected by their original vaccinations. Protection from hospitalization simply does not seem to appear to wane dramatically for the most part. Many believe the better alternative is simply getting those who are unvaccinated vaccinated. Savannah?
That work continues, Miguel. Thank you very much.
Craig joins the table, including a new development in the Gabby Petito case.
Hey, Hoda, Savannah, good morning. Good morning to you as well. The FBI has now issued an arrest warrant for Gabby's fiancé, Brian Laundrie, announcing it is connected to his actions after the 22-year-old's death. This, as the manhunt for him enters its 7th day, with police now treating the Laundrie family home as an active crime scene. NBC's Katie Beck continues to follow the story for us. She's in Florida once again. Katie, good morning.
Good morning, Craig. The FBI stepping up their search efforts to find Brian Laundrie, thanking the public for valuable tips, encouraging them to send more, saying no piece of information is too small to help their investigation.
This morning, the nationwide search for Brian Laundrie picking up steam. Authorities now armed with a federal warrant for his arrest. The FBI says Laundrie is wanted for use of unauthorized access devices. According to court documents, Laundrie used an unauthorized debit card and PIN number in late August, and knowingly and with intent to defraud, withdrew $1,000 or more from a Wyoming ATM. The Laundrie family's attorney saying in a statement, "It is my understanding that the arrest warrant for Brian Laundrie is related to activities occurring after the death of Gabby Petito and not related to her actual demise." Laundrie's parents were seen Thursday driving away from their home. Their son and Gabby Petito left on a cross-country trip from her parents' home in Long Island, New York on July 2nd. The city of Moab, Utah announced it's launching an independent investigation into the way officers handled this August 12th incident, captured on body cam between Gabby and Brian.
We'd have been fighting all morning and he would have let me in the car before.
According to an affidavit, the responding officer described it as a mental health crisis, not a domestic assault. The city saying it's unaware of any breach of policy at this time. Laundrie returned home to Florida without Petito September 1st. On Sunday, her body was discovered in a remote area of Wyoming's Bridger-Teton National Forest. The coroner calling it a homicide, but not revealing a cause of death. Laundrie's parents told police their son went for a hike last week at the 25,000-acre Carlton Reserve near their Florida home. Federal, state, and local officials have searched for days using drones, K-9 units, ATVs, and underwater dive teams.
This is a tremendous, massive land. The more people, the more effective we are.
While the search continues for Laundrie, supporters gather at vigils and growing memorials for Gabby.
It's just heartbreaking. I feel so bad for the family.
In the meantime, Katie, there's another apparent piece of information. One of Gabby Petito's friends said that Laundrie is equipped to go off-grid, that he'd actually done this before and been gone for I don't remember what period of time. But the area where they're searching is obviously challenging. What are officials saying about that?
Yeah, Hoda, that report said it was 3 months he spent on the Appalachian Trail, a similar survival-style trek. But survival experts say even someone who is prepared would need to be well-equipped and well-prepared to endure these elements. The heat, the humidity, obviously having a way to boil water and have shelter out here is not the easiest. In contention also with gators and snakes. Keep in mind the swampland, 75% of it is underwater. So even for someone who is a trained survivalist, this would be a real struggle.
Yeah, if in fact he is still in Florida, you know, he could actually be somewhere else. Who really knows? All right, Katie, thank you. Stick around because there's much more coming up on Today in 30.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning. Welcome to you today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Oh, we are back as Carson joins us with some very high-profile tourists paying a visit here to New York City.
That's right, guys. Good morning. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are in town here in New York, gearing up for a big event this weekend in Central Park. And NBC's Stephanie Gosk is here with more on that. Good morning, Steph.
Hey, Steph.
Guys, good morning. Harry and Meghan are here to call for global COVID vaccine equity. It's their first public trip together since stepping away from their royal duties and moving to the U.S. in an effort to get some privacy. But some, especially in the British tabloids, who can be brutal, are skewering them and the trip, saying they're acting more royal than ever. Harry and Meghan, all smiles in New York City.
It's wonderful to be back. Thank you.
Their first stop Thursday to One World Trade Center and the 9/11 Memorial, coming less than 2 weeks after the country marked the 20th anniversary of the attacks. Their appearance similar to a trip Harry's grandmother, the Queen, made herself in 2010. But in the UK, the British tabloids are tough critics, accusing them of acting like royalty, even though they are no longer working royals. Both Harry and Meghan have been to New York City before, but this marks their first official trip here together. This time, Harry spotted carrying a folder with Archie's Papa emblazoned on it, a nod to his son, though children Archie and Lilibet are not with them on this trip.
The Princess of Wales flew in on the Concorde.
In 1989, Princess Diana also came to New York, mingling with the rich and famous and visiting the poor.
On a closed visit to the AIDS ward, the princess met and touched many of the children.
That trip has become a key storyline in the hit Netflix show, The Crown.
They desperately need foster parents, but people are too afraid to take them.
Why?
Because of the stigma.
On Saturday, Harry and Meghan will be front and center at Global Citizen Live in Central Park, urging vaccine equity around the world in an effort to help end the pandemic for everyone.
Meghan and Harry, at the end of the day, understand that they are public figures. They understand that anything they do is going to get attention. So they are now learning at this phase, it seems, how to use that public attention and direct it in very specific ways that they see fit and that things that they're very passionate about and causes that they want to support.
A little more, Meghan and Harry.
So Global Citizens Live is calling on the G7 nations to donate 1 billion vaccines to the world and to these countries that don't have enough vaccines. It's going to be quite a star-studded event. You've got J-Lo, Coldplay, Lizzo.
Wow.
Lizzo. Right here in Central Park.
Let us get a boost for Friday.
Okay, here we go. You're going to like this one. So a big brother who was in the military, he used to have a special sound he would make, kind of like a bird call to get his little brother's attention. Okay, so here's what happened when he showed up after months apart. He was outside of his brother's grade school. Take a listen.
Oh my gosh.
Hadn't seen each other in a year, an entire year. The little brother dropped his water bottle, if you're wondering, and he ran in for that hug. Anyway, that bird call.
Oh my gosh.
His heart. Is that you? Is that you?
Yeah.
He just turned it right around. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us?
Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are.
Look at that.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
We always have fun here at the third hour, and every once in a while we like to hang out outside of our studio.
So we recently decided to buddy up and try our hand at pottery. We had a blast and even had a ghost sighting. You know why I'm looking forward to this?
Why?
This buddy up? Because it is non-competition. It's just us enjoying ourselves, doing something
Is that what you
crafty.
say when you know you're going to lose? I think that's what happens. Let's do this.
You passed right by Craig, we're up here. Once inside Greenwich House Pottery, we met our instructor, Hawk and Lindsay, but things quickly spun out of control.
The truth is, pottery is really hard, and don't think about what you're going to make today. Just think about how you're doing it and try and enjoy the process.
Oh, cool.
I love this so much.
Yes, it's not about final products, although
Is this
final
what we're
products are
gonna
nice. Well, that's something that I made, but I think in 20 years, you could probably really pull that off.
That's probably ambitious.
Wait, it looks like my belly.
Holy smokes.
That is amazing.
That actually is the same size.
This is the same.
That could be a baby.
This is the same size.
That's a baby.
You're having a pottery baby.
Look at the baby. Hello, baby dryer.
We finally took the wheel, the pottery wheel that is, and got our hands dirty.
And then, once it goes up a little bit, you can take your hands, you can take this part of your thumbs like this and push down.
Oh.
Okay.
Craig, we don't need to make those sounds.
And look at you, Al. Holy smokes.
Wait, are we jumping right into
I mean, wow. I don't know why I'm teaching the class.
Yeah.
Did you just make a bowl?
That's really good.
I'm so glad you're on my team. Wait, you said you'd never done this before.
I've never done this before. While I had beginner's luck, the others, not so much.
Once that happens.
What the heck's going on there?
I was trying to watch you.
Right.
So you know what?
You're just going to start with a new ball.
You know what it is? You can't overdo it.
Let's show you how to get this off. So we're going to use this thing. This is called a J tool.
Oh my! Come on, Craig, lean in. Get some water on that thing. There goes your bowl. Al, you're supposed to reach the pottery, Al. Reach.
But I had a nice bowl going.
You did.
I should have seen that coming.
I've never seen Craig so uncomfortable in my life.
If I could blush, I would. Make no mistake about it.
While Craig never fully recovered. You know what this is good for? Dell's self-esteem. The rest of us were able to make actually passable pieces.
Oh, I got it.
Wow. Yeah.
Very good. What?
Now put it down in front of you.
Yay, that's a pretty ring.
And now you're ready to start all over again.
That's beautiful. I did it.
Since our pots aren't quite ready to be decorated, Hawken gives us some of his pieces to work on.
My grandmother is constantly telling me to bloom where I'm planted. That is what
You've done a nice job blooming where you've been planted.
But of course, not without some hitches.
You know, if all of a sudden I just did this and you have a cup that just looks like that, you'd be like, wow, that's so beautiful.
I thought it was solid.
No, it's not solid.
Oh, well, you know what? That's why. No. So this is unfired. Once we fire them, they'll be really strong.
I was a little too rough with it.
But you're in luck because I have another one for you.
Oh, thank goodness.
I got you.
I'll be a little bit more gentle this time.
Little Today logo?
Love that.
Oh, that's so cool. Al, that's that'll be worth like $1 gazillion. Look at mine. I drew lines.
Beautiful.
That is nice.
We've all put our finishing touches on these pots, and now they're ready to be fired. Hawkins, now, what happens to these now?
So now they're going to dry overnight, then they're going to go in the kiln for about 36 hours. It's going to get fired up to 2,350 degrees. Then it cools for another 24 hours, and then voila,
and then
you got a finished piece of pottery. Yeah.
Really nice.
These are really...
So we've got our fired pieces here.
Let's start with yours.
Thanks to Hawkins. I only did a little weather theme here.
It's really nice.
And then I made,
he made that we got to carve into.
I made these little squares for the family, so you got a little gift there.
They're so nice. He gave us these little tools, so we had little toys where you could write words.
But you really got artsy.
I know. I found it very therapeutic. What about you guys? I feel like it was fun. What is that?
Looks like Kermit the Frog had an accident.
That looks like mold.
This is actually a pin holder. You put your pin in there.
You just made that up. I'm surprised how well it looks after the fact.
That's really you could
cool.
use that.
Yes.
Very nice.
Don't look at the inside.
I would buy that.
Spikes and
No, you
could go to Marshall's and find that.
Your mug looks fantastic.
Let's see your mug.
I thought it was a little boring because you guys were doing so many fun things, but
Oh wow! What are you going to use this for?
Cool.
I'm not sure.
You know what I would say is where no matter
what
where.
What are you going to use this for?
This is prophetic for life.
That's for target practice.
If you mess up, you just keep going.
Pull!
There you go.
All right, go to the third hour today.
pottery-
Instagram to see some behind-the-scenes photos.
Put my pin holder down.
Pottery making.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
To find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Joe Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Entertainment icon Barry Manilow has been dazzling audiences for more than 5 decades with those timeless songs like I Write the Songs, Mandy, and of course, Looks Like We Made It. Well, he has made it over and over again, selling more than 85 million albums, making him, by the way, one of the best-selling artists in the entire world.
Yeah. And everybody's happy because Barry's residency at Westgate, Las Vegas, well, it was put on pause, but guess what? After 18 months, he is back with a bang, kicking off his comeback with a name unveiling ceremony, a flash mob.
Of course.
And the announcement of more than 100 new dates.
Look at this flash mob.
Look how
We're
much fun
thrilled
that
because
looks.
Barry is with us from Vegas. Barry, you know how to make an entrance. That flash mob kicked it off. How does it feel being back on stage again?
It was great. It's odd. We're talking about it. It feels like this 18 months never happened. We're just back as if that 18 months didn't even exist. But it's great.
Barry, so many fans are so happy to see you performing again. You know you brought so much comfort to so many people. But did you know that when Hoda was a little girl, she had a poster hanging over her bed of you?
Yeah, Barry, you were my poster in my room.
Really?
Yeah, you were most. I had you and Punch from, Punch and John.
Yes.
Punch. But Barry, we still sing all of your songs. My girls now sing all of your songs. And does it feel differently this time around? I know it's been, when you haven't performed for a while, it feels like a drought. You're so at home on the stage.
Yeah, it really, I expected to be more uncomfortable than I was, but it all came back, the audience is great. They were so sold out you couldn't get in, and they were even with the masks on. And I thank them for doing it because it's pain in the neck to do it, but they're doing it, and there's still that audience that is excited. And so, therefore, I was excited.
Well, you added 105 new dates to your residency. That gives you the record for the most shows at the International Theater. You beat out the previous records. I mean, that was
Elvis.
High, no big deal. What does that mean to you?
It was great. My manager, husband Gary, booked us for 105 because Elvis was 104. So we're 105 shows now. We broke the record.
And you got a new album coming out too next year. You got a musical. Give us a little bit about that.
We got a new album coming out next year. It's an original album. I haven't done that in a long time. And then we've got our beloved Harmony opening in New York. Previews are on March 23rd, and we open on April 13th. And this time we are in New York down at the National Yiddish Theater, and hopefully we'll go further than that. So everybody come down to the National. It's a beautiful, beautiful theater down there downtown starting on March 23rd. And we'll cross our fingers this time.
Awesome. Well, Barry, we have a fan, a super fan named Shelly, who wants to come in and ask you a question. Hey, Shelly.
Oh, my God, look at Shelly.
Hello, Barry. Oh, my gosh. It's so wonderful to see you. I'm sad that COVID's going on, so we can't be in person, but you are amazing. This is such an honor to meet you and see you and talk with you.
Wait, okay. First of all, is it true that your love for Barry started when you were 9?
Yes, I was 9 years old. I was watching the American Music Awards. You were performing. You were at this beautiful white baby grand piano. I was smitten. I made my mom the next day drive me to Ben Franklin. I bought your album. I have been a fan ever since. I'm 53 now, so if that tells you anything.
And you've got a question for Barry?
I do have a question for Barry. For some reason in my head, I want to say, will you go to prom with me? But I know that ship has sailed. So my question for you is, you have been fortunate to meet so many amazing people in your decades-long career. And I'm wondering if there's one person in particular who really stood out and left a lasting positive impression on you.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Nice.
Such a huge star. When I met her, she was not at all the elegant woman. She was a real person. And she was so committed to this AIDS thing that had happened back in the 80s. And she never let up. She never let up trying to find a cure and helping everybody who had it. This woman was not just a movie star. She was a real great person.
Well, that is beautiful. So, Shelly, I know that you thought you were just here to ask a question, but actually we do have a little surprise for you, too.
We sure do. Shelly, this is for you, because I know you want to see Barry. Well, thanks to Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, you're getting 2 tickets to the Barry Manilow show in Las Vegas. A 3-day, 2-night stay at Westgate Las Vegas. Dinner at the Edge Steakhouse, plus a $500 travel credit. How does that sound?
Shut up! It sounds awesome! I have to tell you, I am known for 2 things: margaritas and Manilow.
Yes! You sound like our type of girl.
Some margaritas before that show. I'm giddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you, Shelly.
All right, by the way, there are tickets to the Manilow show. There aren't many, so pick them up. The hits come home. They're on sale right now. I can't smile without you. I can't laugh and I can't sing.
And we
finding it hard to do anything.
Wow, that was pretty good.
And I said, you do not want to miss Monday. We've got another great week on today. The San Francisco 49ers kick off mentorship season in our once-in-a-lifetime series.
And some of the team is actually going to join us as they help their communities. So make sure you tune in. We'll see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend.
Welcome to Today All Day. I am so excited to share some of my favorite stories with you. I've interviewed so many empowering change makers, amazing moms, and even a few of my own family members through the years. I hope you enjoy these stories as much as I do and learn a little something along the way. Let's talk about Tyra Banks for a moment. World-renowned model, TV personality, writer, producer, and mom. While the supermodel has become a household name, not many people know the supermom who raised her. It's time for you to meet Carolyn London.
With her head nervous. She got a head rag and rolling.
Hi, stage mom.
You know your lines, right?
To start, you have two kids. Tell us a little bit about each of them.
Well, my firstborn is Devin. He's a curious anthropological bookworm.
Okay.
But at the same time, the life of the party. Tyra, on the other hand, is the creative. She would look at TV commercials when she was in elementary school, and she would say, now, you know, if they had put that hamburger on a different kind of plate and then had that girl walk over and pick it up, it was like, what are you doing? You're dissecting commercials?
Now, take me back to the thick of those early years. What was it like for you?
I got divorced when Tyra was 5 years old. And so I became a single mom. When you look back and you think, how did I do it? And did it not in a negative mindset, but in a positive mindset. I raised both of my children with this saying that I would say, look to the other side. It's not about where you are now, but where you want to go, and envision yourself there.
Tyra's brand, a lot of it is authenticity, and I think that's why people gravitate towards her. And so you see this, especially young kids now, they see this beautiful model, they see this woman on television, and she's very honest about the fact that she dealt with bullying as a child, and that, you know, she learned, you know, a lot of that insecurity, you know, they called her a giraffe, or they called her an ugly duckling. Where was that girl versus this model? Like how do we reconcile the two?
You know, you see how tall she is. She's 5'11", and she had a growth spurt, and it was the craziest thing ever. She grew 6 inches in a few months.
But how did you help her get through that? I mean, middle school years can be tough for a lot of kids.
What I did was I concentrated less on her appearance and more on her abilities and her character. We would take trips to the bookstore, art exhibits, the museum, because those are the things that she really loved doing. Another thing that I strongly believe in is being open, honest, and truthful with your children. So they knew that they could come to me for anything, and I mean anything.
Was there a train trip from like LA to San Francisco where you talked about the birds and the bees, so she couldn't run anywhere? You were on a train?
She couldn't get off the train. That was the birds and the bees. I told her that I wanted her to know everything. I did not want her to end up like me. I was a teen mother. I had my son when I was 18 years old, and I had him out of ignorance. So I said, I want you to know what I didn't. And I put her on that train, and I told her everything.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
So tell me then about your at-home photography business. I find this fascinating.
I was working as a biological photographer, a medical photographer. The photographs that are taken of the patients were used for continuing medical education, or they went into medical textbooks. And then I had a friend who worked in the fashion industry. She called me one day and she said they had an assignment, and I did it and was very successful and got rehired. In the process of doing that, Tyra would sometimes come with me on my photo assignments. A lot of the models that I was working with would say, "Have you ever thought about her being a model?" And I was like, "Oh, please." So one day she came to me and she goes, "Mom, maybe this is something I should look into." So I said, "Okay, you go and you do your research and you tell me what you find out about that industry." And she came back a week later and she told me, "This is a go-see."
So now fast forward in time, she gets a scout call that she should go to Paris. When did you get involved as her manager? Like, how did you say, you know what, this is gonna be something, I need to be involved?
She was accepted at 5 colleges. She decided to go to Loyola Marymount in Los Angeles. That is when I got that call. I told her that I would support her in whatever decision she made because it's not my life, it's hers. But the one thing that I did say, once again, you are starting a business. You are the commodity. So you are going to study, you are going to know that business inside out before you step on any airplane. She looked at videotapes of runway models through the ages, and she said, "You know what? Every single one of them has a signature walk." And I said, "Well, looks like we need to work on a Tyra walk." So that's what we did.
And boy, did she ever, because we know Tyra's walk.
She had almost immediate success. So most girls who are, 17 years old going into Paris, the agency told us they usually get, 4 or 5 fashion shows. Tyra was booked for 24, and that is where everything went crazy. Then the press started following her. "What is your name? Where do you come from?"
What did that feel like as a mom to see that around that swirl around your child?
It was so scary, Chanel. It was really, I basically just stepped in and said, from now on, you don't book things, you just do it through me. I didn't really realize that I was managing her. I was just taking care of my child.
She was the first Black woman on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue cover. One of the first Black models to sign a contract with Victoria's Secret. How does it feel as her mom, or how did it feel back then?
I got a phone call from the president of IMG Model, and he goes, "Your daughter is going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated." I just sat still, just quiet, and I thought to myself, she did it. She said, "I'm not going to let them tell me that a Black woman can't sell magazines." It was a feeling of accomplishment as a mother, instilling that much in your child, to know that she's truly a trailblazer.
Could you exhale then? Had you already exhaled? I mean, because it's almost like it's such a storm.
You know what? She didn't give me a chance to exhale ever, to this day. It just keeps going. It just keeps rolling.
Tyra's now a mom herself. What has it been like to watch your child become a mom?
I waited a long, long time for that. When she finally decided that she wanted to do that, she had a difficult time, and I went through that with her. But when she finally did it, it was life altering for me. I'm really happy for her. I wanted her to have another one, but she said no.
Don't push it, Carolyn. What is the one piece of advice or words of wisdom you would pass along to other moms?
I believe that to be truthful and honest with your children, create a relationship where they feel comfortable enough to come to you for anything. I think that's so important. I take my greatest pride in being mama, just being mama.
I'm giving you a hug again. You were so good. I could talk to you for 5 hours.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends in today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
To find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Hi, Chanel. How are you?
You come.
Okay, so let's start with the early years. Take me back. How did you get through it with practices, homework, cooking, all of that? How did you do it?
I didn't think about it. I just did it. They had goals in mind. I saw them working so hard, and they never, ever complained. Never said, I don't want to go. And in my mind, they were going to be this. And it was a lot of naysayers saying that, they're not going to make it. But I never thought they wouldn't.
You call Venus and Serena the girls. Mm-hmm. What was their dynamic like? Serena was the little sister, but they're still pretty close in age, 15 months apart? Mm-hmm. What was their dynamic like as kids?
Well, Serena, believe it or not, was quiet, and Venus was more boisterous and talkative, actually. And I began to see that change when they got older. And Serena did everything that Venus did.
Tell me about the decision to move the family from Compton to Florida?
Florida.
For tennis?
Well, it was just a decision in regards to coaching and getting, a better facility and getting out of Compton, because it was kind of bad. It was really bad. Because I always, before they went out to practice, I always tell, if you hear anything, duck. I mean, not duck, but hit the ground. That was the standard rule.
That's real.
That's real.
So we talk about, you think about parents who have concerns, but that's life or death concerns when they're just trying to play tennis. Were you a coach as well to them?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the line between coach and parent?
On the court and then at home. And being firm. My yes mean yes and my no mean no. And they know I meant it.
Give me your words of wisdom for parents listening right now who have young athletes?
Whatever they do well, don't mess with it. If it's natural, leave it alone. Don't try to perfect it. They'll perfect it themselves. And let them be a kid. Let them play. And when you're coaching, coach on the court, not at home.
What do you mean by that?
When they come home, let it be a place where it's family.
Do you look back at those times? There's some moms who miss it and want to go back to it. Others say it was a great time, but I'm glad, it is what it is. Do you miss those times?
No.
You said that really
I don't
quickly.
because you teach, at least I taught my kids to grow up and be self-sufficient and not to come back here to me. They'll be able to take care of themselves and they'll be strong enough.
So then when you're sitting on the sidelines, what's going through your mind? Because you know the game.
Well, I'm watching their techniques mostly, but before they get on the court, I'm watching their mental here.
How important is the mental aspect?
It's so important. And I see a lot of people go out there not mentally there, but it is so important because you have to believe that you can do something before you can do it.
Do you feel it when there's so much pressure on them sometimes? Are you able to take it away? Do you know what I mean?
I learned to pull it back and just look at it for what it is. It's a game. Someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose.
But if she has a tough match, do you leave her alone afterwards if she's upset? We can think of specific games where she was upset. The US Open is coming back around. Do you leave her alone after something like that?
You just leave her alone. Don't say nothing.
How did you learn that? Just over the years? Or?
I just learned it. I don't know, I just never did it. I just never did it. Don't tell them what you should have did and what they should have did. That will drive them crazy. You just have to leave it alone.
Both of the girls have such a platform at this point. It almost, to me, transcends tennis. They take their gift, they take their platform, and they're using it for all sorts of things.
When you can help somebody else, or you see something that you did that helps someone else be better, that's the best than anything in the world.
When Serena talked about, she has learned to embrace who she is. She talks about the body shamers and people saying, she looked like a man. And she said, you know what? That's not who I am. We're curvy, we're strong, we're muscular. Where did she get that from?
It took her a moment because she thought she had to look like everybody else, we're all made different. We all have different looks. And if you really look at everybody's beautiful. And one size don't fit all.
You've read this, but this open letter that just grabbed our hearts from Serena after she had the baby. She says, thank you for being the role model I needed to endure all the hardships that I now regard as challenges, ones that I enjoy. I hope to teach my baby, Alexis Olympia, the same and have the same fortitude you have had. I love you dearly. Your youngest of 5, Serena.
That was really sweet. I think I had a little cheer for that one. And they called me tough.
Favorite moment of this wild ride so far that you guys have had together as a family?
I know one was the time when they both told me different times that they loved their life. One year, Venus came to me, she said, Mom, I love my life. Because sometimes you wonder if you're doing the right thing. I was thinking, I said, I hope I did the right thing. And then the next year, Serena came and said the same words. So that was a big relief.
What would you say to raising strong girls?
Kids learn from you. Help them understand that they have to love their neighbor. You have to be courteous, you have to be kind. That's part of strength, because it's easy to go and jump and be belligerent. That's easy. It's hard, it's very difficult to be kind to someone that's not being kind to you.
Do you think they're close to retirement?
Oh, I wish.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
Look at that.
So we set the stage. Tell me the names of your sons, who they play for, and their ages.
JJ plays for the Houston Texans. He's 30. And Derek is out in California. He just turned 27. And he's married and has a baby and plays for the Los Angeles Chargers. And Trent, or TJ as some people call him, the baby, he's in Pittsburgh, plays for the Steelers, and he's 25.
Take me back, let's say 20 years ago when you were in the thick of it. You were a young mom. So how old were you when you had your first?
19.
You were 19 years old.
Actually, I was 19 when I was pregnant, 20 when I had him.
Tell me a little bit about back in the day.
A lot of people say with 3 boys, boy, it must have been really hard, and they must have fought all the time and this and that. And I'm like, honestly, they're maintenance-free kids pretty much. They just played, you know? They played outside, played basketball, any kind of ball game.
Were you athletic?
No.
Well, that's encouraging to me. There's hope for my kids.
My husband played hockey, so the kids always came to watch him play, and then it was a natural thing to get him on ice skates.
I read something where you're just giving birth. Was it to TJ? Tell me about that.
We gave birth, and JJ had practice, so we went right from the hospital to the rink.
That's crazy.
But it was our life. That's who we were. We were going home, and I remember saying, okay, what time can I leave? Like, is it 24 hours? Because I just needed to get home. We had to get to a hockey practice.
I can't believe that.
And they were big. JJ and TJ had broken collarbones because they were so big when they came out. And their feet were off of the birth certificate, you know, the thing that they put the feet prints, so I should have known then.
Wait, they like extended off of the paper? Never heard of that before. Well, speaking of which, they're growing boys. I read one of them or some of them, did they have double lunch? I mean, they like to eat,
Since second grade. I had to call the school to say, is there a child there that can't afford lunch? Because I think my child is putting it on our account. She laughed and said, oh no, Mrs. Watt, he's actually eating them. And I said, really? He's eating them both? And she said, yes. And then they'd come home from school about 3:30, 4 o'clock and have dinner. And then at 8 o'clock at night, they'd have another full dinner.
2 dinners?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So then how did you do it? I mean, because you also worked, right?
The kids would each get part of the grocery list. So we did the grocery shopping together, unpacked it together.
It was all about teamwork at home, too. You were certainly a believer in chores.
Yes.
Would you say you were strict?
Very. My husband and I both were very strict. We had a chore chart, and it changed every week. You know, it was just on an Excel spreadsheet, so I could change up who did what chores that week. They had to put their laundry away. If they didn't do it properly, I would take the drawer out and dump it in the room, and they would have to redo it.
You are hardcore.
Oh, I was hardcore.
But this just goes to show, it seems like sometimes maybe kids need the order. I don't know.
Yes. I would tell them, I said, well, if you want Dad and I to come to your practices and come to your games to support you, I have to have help around the house. That kind of sank into them too, like, well, yeah, that's probably not fair.
Did you ever feel like, I've got this?
For the most part, I'm just so organized and detail-oriented that it was pretty good, but I'll never forget a time when the kids were sick when they were young and John was working and I couldn't get TJ to sleep. And I had to call a neighbor and just say, can you please come and hold the baby so I can get Derek to bed? And I just don't know what to do.
But there's a lesson in that too. Sometimes you have to know when to just call and get some help.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there ever a moment with any of them that you thought, you know what, this could happen?
First of all, just getting them a college scholarship was amazing, and the opportunity to play at that next level. And I remember telling each of them, there's another child who's going to be just as good or just a hair after you, so don't blow this opportunity. You know, take every opportunity, play every down like it's your last one, and if you're not ready to do that, then move aside and let the next player in.
If you were to give any words of wisdom, is there any advice or things you would say to do that could help or that you found helpful?
Don't just hone in on one sport and make it not fun anymore, because you'll burn out if you start too young. I mean, you see a child from when they're 5 to 10 to 15 to 20, how different they are. So you might be great at something at 8, but then all of a sudden by 14, you're like, now this is what I love and this is what I'm good at.
We're right in the middle of the NFL season. Your boys, like I said, they're playing for 3 teams in 3 different parts of the country. When do you decide when to hop on a plane? Like, how do you have a flow chart with that?
I have an Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, you do? I was just kidding.
Of course I do.
First of all, this, if I didn't know any better and I just dropped from Mars, I would think that this is a team. Look at this, right?
Right.
Who came up with this?
Yes. A friend of ours down in Texas had it made the first year when it was just Derek and JJ, and then added TJ. So I said, thank gosh, these logos kind of just go. And some people kind of do a double take at first, like, is that the Texans logo? Wait a minute, what's in the middle? And then they see the back.
Let me see the back.
And they said, well, we have, you know, the Texans, the Chargers, and the Steelers. And they said, what should we do for the W? And of course they said the Badger, the Wisconsin Badgers. So it's all just tied in.
There.
Exactly.
So what happens if they're both playing each other?
Then I hold Logan in my lap so I don't have to clap.
That's a good one.
That happened twice this year.
Really?
And it was very challenging.
How do you do that?
It's very hard. They step out on the field and I know only one is going to come out winning the game and the other one is going to be bummed. And so I just sit there and I hold Logan and I don't clap either way and I just, it's very hard. I always tell each of them before the game, do not hurt your brother.
That's a good one. What a mom would say. That's another piece of it is the injuries. Did that bother you as they were growing up or did it hit you once you got to the NFL? These are big guys.
And it never hit me, honestly, until JJ got hurt the first time. People would always say, aren't you nervous? I'm so nervous for the game. And I look at him like, well, you're a fan and I'm a mom. I don't know why you're nervous, and I would say, no. I said, my boys train really well. I feed them really well. I know that they're really well prepared. So no, I'm not really nervous at all about that. Then they got hurt. And I remember sitting in the stands crying. It was just weird for me to know that he was injured out there playing hurt. And then, you know, people would pile on top of him and I'm like, get off, get off.
That's
and
that part where everybody holds their breath.
Yes.
Everybody just waits. Do you worry about the press or do you not even have to deal with that part of it?
I don't. When people say negative stuff, I totally understand and believe that they don't know my kids. Because it's true. Look at when JD was drafted and they booed him. That broke my heart. So that was a time that you could bring me to tears and say, how dare you? You don't know my son.
So tell me about this foundation. Most people start foundations in their, 50s and 60s after they've built companies, I don't know. But he started this foundation pretty early, right?
In college.
In college. Who starts a foundation in college?
He was a junior.
Wow.
And he called and my husband said, no.
He said no?
No, don't do it. Because he said, will you help me do this foundation? And I was still working, so my husband was like, no, we can't do this. And he's in college. He doesn't know what he's doing.
What made him want to do that?
The notoriety was really getting to, at Madison, it was unbelievable how the fan base was. And he was playing crazy good. And he said, you know what? While I can do something with this, why don't I do something good? He started just selling those little wristbands.
Wow.
And we did it out of our home, and I still run the foundation out of my home.
Let's talk about Hurricane Harvey.
This morning, an unfolding disaster in one of America's biggest cities, Houston.
With the rain that's fallen already and the rain that's to come, it's shaping up to be one of the most catastrophic flooding disasters in U.S. history.
We are seeing so many powerful images of hope and heroism that remind us that even in the worst catastrophe, the best can come out in people.
Like football star J.J. Watt's fundraising campaign, which has now collected more than $5 million for relief efforts.
If you can donate something small, if you can donate something big, whatever you can donate, please donate to help these people out.
It ended up raising more than $37 million.
More than 41.
$41 million.
So he called and said, this is what I'm thinking of doing. What do you think? And I said, it's a great idea.
What were they doing? Did he ask for, were they doing it online, donations? Like, what did he do for people who don't know?
Online and checks. People were mailing checks in. I was traveling and I had to get 3 volunteers to come to my home 3 days a week. We had checks stacks this high.
You know, people trusted him. What does that say about him as a man and frankly his leadership?
It says a lot, and that's one thing that we're most proud of with the foundation as well. We're always telling people where the money is going, down to the penny. You know, I always go back to, again, saying they're maintenance-free kids. They just are really trying to always help people and do the right thing, so people did trust them, and it does come down to that.
In addition to football, people say, your mother raised you right. When you hear something like that, that has to feel good.
It does. It does. Because at the end of the day, each of them are just great human beings, great mentors, great men, great friends, brothers, sons. They're really good people, and that means more to me than, I know we all want a Super Bowl, but I really want them to be good people. Raising kids is the best gift I've ever received in my whole life.
Made me cry. That was so good. You're so good.
Hey, Today All Day, we've got a great show for you on this Friday morning. Let's kick it off with the latest pop culture news you need to know. Take a look.
Best time of the morning, but also the most confusing time of the morning.
What happened?
I'm supposed to be at the Ryder Cup in Wisconsin, but my flight was canceled last night.
Because of the weather?
Because of the weather here in New York.
I'm sorry.
After a long delay. Never happened, but it wasn't meant to be.
Okay.
Never argue with the airlines.
good to have you.
They don't want to fly? I don't want to fly either.
Right.
I don't want to go either.
Keep it safe.
Today does mark the weekend. There's the biggest event for golf fans. We're talking about the Ryder Cup. It's a competition that sees the best players from the United States taking on Europe's top golfers. And to give us a look inside the competition, we'll go live from Whistling Straits course in beautiful Kohler, Wisconsin. NBC Sports' own Mike Tirico. We also got two-time NBA MVP Steph Curry. Steph's joining the fun this weekend as an insider for NBC Sports. Guys, good morning. Let me start with you, Steph. They got you working this weekend. It's well documented how much you love golf. What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to try to be inside the ropes, give a different, perspective, about the Ryder Cup. This is obviously an amazing competition. It's the highlight of the golf calendar. But sometimes you need another perspective from the basketball lens. I love golf, obviously. I've been in big stages before, but there's nothing like this. This is my first time out here, so excited to share what I see and what I know.
Mike, USA looks so good on paper. We always do. 9 out of the top 10 golfers in the world. We've got home field advantage at Coach Stricker's own home state course there in Wisconsin. The fans are all predominantly American because of the European and the COVID. They couldn't get there. There's just almost no reason on paper the USA should lose. Yet in the last 20 years, we've only won pretty much once. What is it going to take for USA to do it this time?
You hit it, Carson. There's everything in the U.S.'s favor for their side, but the Ryder Cup is just different. Steph and I were just watching the play on the first hole. You still got some of the best in the world on the European side. John Rahm was #1 in the world, Sergio Garcia, Rory McIlroy. Stalwarts in the Ryder Cup over the years like Ian Poulter or Lee Westwood. So there's plenty of experience. There's actually more Ryder Cup experience on the European side. But the U.S. is fueled by the crowd. I was over at the first tee when the tee shots were hit 15 minutes ago. It's nuts over there. The sun's coming up over Lake Michigan. It's an awesome scene. I'm so glad you didn't confuse me and Steph. I'm not the NBA player. Steph is. So great move by you, Carson, to be able to figure that out.
Thank you. Steph, did you give the team a pep talk? I mean, did you talk to any of the guys? What's the mindset of our team?
No pep talk. I left that up to the team captain Steve Stricker, who obviously it's a hometown vibe for him. But they don't need a pep talk. Like you said, it's about just going out there and competing, enjoying the moment. I can't imagine like the adrenaline rush on the first tee box when you're playing a team event and you have the entire Team USA on your shoulders. So maybe if they need something during the round, I can give them a little something. Maybe read a putt for them or two. But we'll see what happens.
I'm taking you over that first tee as soon as we're done here. You're going to get up close and feel it. It's the best event in golf in terms of the atmosphere around the first tee.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I guess, Mike, we'll end with the last 3 Ryder Cups. The team with the home field advantage have won by a wide margin. Fans have a lot to do with that. What do you think about this year?
Well, there's a big part to that. And because of the pandemic, international folks can't travel. So there's not the singing, the chanting of the European side that we see even when the Ryder Cup is here in the U.S. It was 95% U.S. over there in the stands. We can hear the USA chants from over here right now.
I can hear it. I'm so bummed I'm not there.
If it's anything with the atmosphere, the U.S. team will be great. But it'll be fun. It usually comes down to Sunday, and we miss you, Carson. Man,
I'm so bummed. Guys, have fun for me. Just inside baseball, one quick question, Mike. The 12th hole, the par 3, there's a swatch back there, back right. That's only about 8 paces. Are they going to put a pin back there this weekend?
What? Huh?
Twice. 2 of the 5 times they'll be back there. Welcome to the Golf Channel.
Steph, have fun, buddy. I appreciate your time. Mike, as always, thank you. Don't forget, you can watch the Ryder Cup, and who's not going to be watching it all weekend long on the Golf Channel, Peacock, and, of course, right here on NBC.
Here's the thing about Tirico. You asked him that question, and off the top of his head.
He's ready.
Of course he knows.
He knows.
He's the best. God, he's the best.
So are you, Carson.
He's also
you're right up there. Yeah, should have been there.
Good for. Next up, Kristen Stewart. I will not get. There's no deep dive on the Kristen Stewart story. We're finally getting a first look at the actress in her upcoming role as Princess Diana for the highly anticipated movie Spencer. The studio releasing the first teaser yesterday, and following a positive reception at the recent Fall Festival circuit, there's already been some Oscar buzz for her performance. Let's take a look.
We're here, in this house. There is no future. Past and the present are the same thing. Diana, they can't change. You have to change.
You have to be
be able to do things you hate.
You hate?
There has to be two of you. There's the real one and the one they take pictures of. Diana, for the good of the country.
For the country.
What do you think, guys?
Yes.
It looks good.
The answer is yes.
Spencer's hitting theaters on November 5th. Next up, Super Mario Brothers, one of the most beloved cast of characters in video gaming history, getting the Hollywood treatment again. Nintendo announcing an all-star lineup. Wait for you to hear these names for the franchise's upcoming animated movie. Leading the cast, Chris Pratt will be the voice of Mario. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia actor Charlie Day as Luigi, and the Queen's Gambit breakout star Anya Taylor-Joy will be Princess Peach. Other cast members, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key.
Wow.
Yeah, Seth Rogen, Kurt Russell, and the list goes on. Super Mario Brothers film is set to premiere in December of next year. Lizzo, the music superstar, performed a cover of the BTS summer hit Butter for BBC Radio 1's Live Lounge this week, and she, of course, spiced things up with her own Lizzo flavor. Let's take a listen.
Like side step right left to my heartbeat. High like the moon rock with me, baby. You know that I got that heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Let it go.
Yeah.
That's the Friday jam right there, right?
Right there.
It feels good.
So good.
Woo. Finally, we'll wrap things up with Tiger King, the hit Netflix docuseries that swept the nation. This is one heck of a pop star today. Way back at the beginning of the pandemic is finally coming back. Netflix teasing that Tiger King 2 will have just as much madness and mayhem as the first season. Over 64 million households streamed Tiger King in the first month of its release, following Joseph Maldonado's
Passage. We watched it.
The Joe Exotic around his big cat park there, and the infamous feud he had with fellow star on the show Carol Baskin. Joe Exotic, who is currently, by the way, serving a 22-year prison sentence for 2 different murder-for-hire plot counts, is also the subject of an upcoming scripted series on Peacock. Tiger King 2 is set to stream on Netflix later this year.
You know, it was like junk food. Like you were glad you enjoyed it as you did it, and then you like really felt yucky. Yeah, felt gross.
Why'd I do that?
Why'd I do that?
Can't do season 2.
But anyways, season 2's coming.
Coming up on Today Talks, we check in with the third hour to hear some laugh out loud tidbits you don't want to miss. Stay with us.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic.
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprise.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it! Welcome back. Today on the third hour, the gang dishes and all the latest. And trust me, they're not holding back. Check it out.
So have you been watching TV recently? Chances are you've seen commercials for a whole array of these new smartphones.
Samsung, Google, Apple, all recently announcing some new designs.
I guess the big question, how do you know if it's the right time to upgrade?
Our investigative and consumer correspondent, Vicki Nguyen, is here to help us make that decision. And good morning. I feel like the phones came over and we immediately started looking at the phones.
Oh, yeah,
I haven't looked at
Everybody
you yet.
wants to play with them. No, that's okay. Good morning. Hello. Yeah, I had to do a lot of homework for this segment.
I bet you did. So how do you know if it's time to even bother with one of these upgrades?
I think the first question we all have to ask ourselves is, do you want a new phone phone or do you need a new phone? And if it's want, then maybe take a pause and think about waiting, because that's better for your wallet and it's better for the environment. If you actually need a new phone, here are the questions to ask that could help you. First, is your phone broken? Does it malfunction? Does it actually do what you need it to do? This is an important one. Can your phone get the very latest software updates? We're always, behind on doing that. That's what protects your privacy and your information. So you want a phone that can do that. How's your network coverage? Are you always dropping phone calls, and is it really annoying to get on the internet? And finally, if you can't connect your phone to the wireless charger or your new headphones, that might be a sign it's time to get a new one.
There's some people who just want a new phone because it's cool.
Exactly.
But so tell me, there are certain phone issues, though, that are curable, if you will. So you really don't need a new phone.
Totally. And Dylan, I'm sorry you cracked your phone this morning. The
This is
screen,
the back.
right?
You're not on the list.
It's the back part. Okay,
so I can deal with
that. Yeah.
Well, that's
not
just
so
the case,
bad.
right?
Yeah.
But even if it were the front, it's actually the phone, the back of the phone.
You must have really slammed that thing down.
Well, I haven't slept much.
Greg's about to.
I was trying to get it up. I was trying to get it up.
Now you get a new phone. Okay, so let's look at this
He
list.
really wants you to get a new phone. Okay, so if the screen is cracked or if the battery's not working so well, those things can be replaced, right? If you are having an issue with data storage, like you're just running out of space for things, well, you can start backing your photos and texts or whatever you want to save up to the cloud. So those are very fixable. The litmus test here is really if it costs more than half the cost of a new phone to fix your old phone, then just get the new phone.
More than half.
Yeah, that's your.
So let's talk about these new phone models that are coming out, and are they worth upgrading to? I gotta be honest with you, I don't need a new phone right now. But that's really cool.
It is really cool
too. The fold.
Doesn't it feel
That's
so wrong? Okay, we'll start with this one since you picked up. This is the Galaxy Samsung 3, the Fold. Oh no, sorry, this is the Flip. That one over there. Take that one, Greg or Dylan.
Makes no sense that you can
the
fold a screen.
It's like you can fold it like a book.
Yeah,
it's
look
amazing.
at that, it bends.
See if we can get a tight shot, but it just feels wrong, but so right at the same time.
It feels wrong, but so right. Wait, that's
love
so
that.
funny.
And apparently these are good. They're not going to have those problems the early folds did, where the screen was like, I don't want to
These aren't cheap.
They are not.
How
That
do you
one's
talk on it?
$1,800.
Hello?
Right? But these are waterproof. You know what? That's
Hold
why
your
you use your
iPad up to your
headphones.
ear.
It really depends on how you use your phone. If you are using it more to read and surf the web, the bigger the better, really.
But how do you
yeah,
talk?
you're not going to hold it up to your ear.
I bet you can leave it
giant
like that.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, you can do that, Craig.
That's
so anyway,
hard. I
okay,
can
but if you
feel
get new
these.
phones, these just came out in August, so these are really top of the line. They've got all the features, fast refresh, great camera systems.
So can you get deals on these?
There you go.
You can, absolutely. So the Pixels right now, the 5s that Google has, they're expected to come out with new 6s in October. So these will go down in price, and that will be a great way to get a deal.
Right.
And that happens with all phones, whether it's the iPhone 13 that
Like
came
the
out
iPhone
today, so the
came out,
12s
Apple
and
came out with
11s
the
and
iPhone.
10s.
The others
those
will
are-
come down?
Exactly. That's going to help. You also want to search online because the Samsungs are on sale. But if you can wait a little bit, Black Friday is right around the corner. That's when we're going to see really good deals. You also want to remember, if you are an educator, if you're in the military, there are healthcare workers even, there are discounts to be had that way.
that's
So
good.
think about those. And of course, if you switch carriers, that's another way to get a really good deal on a new phone.
So do some homework first before you just go out and try to.
I do. And you have the 13, by the way. You like
This
it?
is
That's
the 13. Well, if you like taking photos, the camera is upgraded. I guess supposedly the battery is better on it.
Yeah, that's a big question for a lot of people. Should I get the iPhone 13? The experts at CNET are saying, look, if you've got a 12 or an 11, the camera and the cinema features are better on this. So if you do a lot of video recording and filming, fine, the 13. But if you can wait, there's still the same fast processing. You can surf the internet just as well. So don't feel like you're missing out if you're not ready to upgrade to the 13.
There are still people who have the traditional flip phone. You know, they don't want the whole smartphone thing, but 3G is going away.
I know, and this is a very big deal for a lot of people, and it's not just phones. 3G service is going to be eliminated by all the major carriers, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. So that's medical devices, that's your security cameras, that's your tablets as well. So you really want to get in touch with your carrier right now. Look up whether your devices are going to be affected and figure out what's the option for you, what can you trade in for, so you can be ready for 5G. That's very important. And the FCC actually has something called the Lifeline, which helps for low-income people. So look into that, because you don't want to be caught not being able to use your device.
Especially if you can't reach 911.
Vicky, you're so good. Look, not a single note. Like, I mean, we have papers all over the place.
She's a pro.
Thank you, Vicky.
She's like an iPad
A lot of
pro.
cramming.
All that homework paid off. Thank you, Vicky.
Coming up on Hoda and Jenna, it's Feel Good Friday, full of surprises. Stay with us.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends in today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Ask your
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like, really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Welcome back today on Hoda and Jenna. We made it through the week, so now it's time to leave you smiling as we head into the weekend. Check it out.
So I think it was last week, we did a little segment we renamed A Little Meme Time, because you guys are so good at captions. I got to tell you, super cute. You guys are very clever. So we're bringing that back again. We're going to bring back our little meme time.
Okay, so this week we posted this photo. Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
From Monday's show on our social media accounts.
Oh, I got to know what people said here.
I know.
Let's hear
what you said. Here are your captions. Okay, we got 1,000 responses. So here are our favorites. Ready? Nancy Power wrote, "What do you mean I only have 1 cup a day?"
Oh, I like that. What do you mean? I only have one cup a day.
Okay, good. You're right. Your translation
you know what I mean?
is better.
What? All right, Allie Smith sent in this. Tell me you're a tired working mom without telling me you're a tired working mom. That's good.
By the way, I never understand those because you're telling.
But you're showing.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Tell me, not show me.
Tell me.
That's all you had to do. Okay. Allison Lear said, when it's Tuesday and not Friday.
That's good, too. Raina Davidman went with this one. Just a typical mom drinking coffee during the minute she hears the kids get out of bed.
It's so true. That first cup of coffee, I'm like, wait.
Just let me
I need 1 second before you start to harass me.
Right, before the day begins and doesn't end.
Exactly. Jennifer Fawcett wrote, kindergarten week 1.
All right, and we have, this one we have to wrap. Julie suggested this. What? I like big cups and I cannot lie.
We had to sing that one.
Okay.
And finally, Adrienne Kelly, she wrote, when they tell you that their product will get your legs like Carrie Underwood and face like J-Lo.
Don't you love all those products that are like, do you want my glow? You're like, yeah, but you're Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, you just look like that.
Carrie Underwood.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you want to join in on the fun next week, follow us at social media at Hoda and Jenna, and you might see your meme on the show.
All right, so here's a question for us and for you guys too. So do you consider yourself an oversharer?
Yes. Are you an oversharer?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Sometimes if it's right there on the hairy edge, you jump. Like you give it, you deliver it. Because you love the reaction.
I like a laugh.
You like a laugh.
I like a laugh, and I see it in Poppy too.
Yeah.
Because I see her like stand to do something, and then it's like we're sort of laugh, and then all of a sudden she's like mooning us, and I'm like, oh no. But I don't overshare. I think it's positive things or funny, like I do share
self-deprecating,
hilarious, embarrassing stories.
You like that.
If there's a table full of laughter.
Yeah, because that's fun.
Right?
I do think that there are oversharers, and, sometimes you're on a first date.
Have you ever overshared on a first date?
Not on a first date, because I'm conscious of that, because I feel like that is the very thing that will make the guy run away.
Don't do it.
It's like, and then I got divorced, and it was a terrible, you're not going to believe what happened, and the guy's like, ew, crazy.
You know what? If you read the rules in the 90s, remember the rules?
What were the, I don't remember what the rules were.
I'm going to have to look back to remember what the rules, but I can guarantee you one was like, do not lead with your stuff.
Oh, yeah, with all your junk.
You kind of want to keep it a little tight.
Yeah, and give a little here and a little there. Don't give all of your scars. But some people like that's how they see themselves. Like, I'm a divorcee, I'm a cancer survivor. They will see themselves through that lens, kind of. That's their jam.
Yeah. Okay. Well, an article in the New York Times that examined the reason people overshare when they first meet someone, and it turns out that when you're stressed or nervous, like on a first date,
just blurt it all out.
You don't have the willpower.
Well, because you don't know what else to say, and all of a sudden have you ever just said something? You're like, why did I say that?
Yes.
That was so dumb.
Yes. I mean, everybody has that feeling. But I do think there's some stories worth repeating. But my husband is like, why did you tell the entire table about that humiliating time you did this? And I'm like, they thought it was funny.
And plus, it doesn't you're not hurt. It doesn't bother you.
No, it might bother him slightly.
Yeah, that happens.
No,
it's okay.
No, okay.
All right, it is time to find out who our best fan friend on this Friday is. It's our first call of the fall.
Okay, we are about to call a 30-year-old named Rachel Martin. She lives in Massillon, Ohio, with her wife Jackie.
Yeah. Now, Rachel happens to be a working model.
God, they're beautiful.
Rachel's true passion actually lies behind the camera.
As a photographer. Okay, but this supermodel also doubles as a super fan, so let's give her a call.
Come on, Rachel.
Rachel's gorgeous.
God, stunning.
So is Jackie. Are we calling her?
Oh my God,
taking a long break.
Oh,
this sweater
This
sweater looks like an 80s sweater when I look at it. I think my mom had this exact one.
Hello,
Rachel!
Oh my God!
Rachel, what are you doing?
Oh my God! It's not Hoda!
It's Hoda and Jenna. Is that your puppy?
It's not Hoda! Jenna!
Yes, it is! How are you?
I've been shocked.
Rachel, first of all, you're a model and we know why. Okay? We're just going to begin there. Wow.
Oh my God. I can't believe this is real.
Rachel, we heard you love to read. Is that right?
I love to read.
What are you reading now?
I'm actually reading one of Jenna's books. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. There's so many.
I'm shaking right now.
Okay, wait. We're gonna play a little game, a little round of trivia, okay? Because we want you to win something.
Okay. So here's the question. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You can ask Jackie if she's there if you need help too.
She's not here, unfortunately.
She's not there? Okay, well, we'll tell her hi later. But okay, here's the question. We love having viewers vote on our outfits for Tuesday. And this week we turned it up a notch, okay? And we had a close friend in the Today Show family style us.
She picked our outfit.
Savannah!
Okay, that is correct, Rachel. So my fellow bookworm, we heard that your dream is to have a huge gallery wall of books in your home. So guess what? Barnes & Noble is sending you a $350 gift certificate along with a selection of books from their September book club picks.
Oh my gosh.
By the
That's
way,
amazing.
What a pleasure it is meeting you and seeing you. You're so sweet. Give our love to Jackie.
Thank you.
Too,
I love you guys so much.
We
you guys
love
are
you
amazing.
too.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
And if you happen to be one of our most loyal viewers or you want to nominate somebody who is, head to hodaandjenna.com and maybe we'll call you next.
Oh,
sweet.
We love her.
Love.
We want her to come visit us one day, right?
I know.
Okay.
It's time.
Today Talks continues after the break. Don't miss the fun.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
It is Superfood Friday, and this morning we're going all in on fall. Today, nutritionist Joy Bauer is here to serve up 2 must-haves for the season. Good morning.
Hey, Joy.
Good morning, guys. Oh my gosh, I have 2 fabulous fall recipes, and these are things that typically we get out in restaurants. So I'm excited to show you how simple they are. And we're starting with a hearty harvest bowl.
What goes into it as a base?
5 steps here. The first step is a leafy green base. Next, and it could be any kind of leafy greens, any mesclun mix or arugula or kale or spinach, they're all good for you. And next we have our grains. So I'm putting in quinoa, but you can use wild or brown rice. You could use whole grain noodles. Anything goes because you know you are the boss of your bowl. Next, it's all about the roasted vegetables. So I did some seasonal picks. I have sweet potato, Brussels, and red onion. But broccoli florets can go in there, cauli.
And what's your trick to roasting them?
High heat, 425 for about 25 minutes. And all I do is I mist them with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, and sometimes fresh thyme because, you know, you really want to feel those fall flavors. And next is the... Yeah, so I'm, again, sticking with the season. I have sliced apples. Sometimes I do pear. If you don't want to slice, you can chop. It's a little bit easier to eat. Or you could throw in some raisins or even like dried cranberries. And, of course, the protein. So here I'm doing grilled chicken, but this could also be salmon. It could be sliced eggs. You could do lentils, shrimp, anything goes. And a little bit of garnish, you know, again, seasonal, some pumpkin seeds. I have here almonds, pomegranate seeds. And on Instagram and on today.com, I gave a recipe for a light balsamic vinaigrette and a lemon vinaigrette that you could pour over it. But again, so easy. I'm just going to hold this up before.
Because it checks off all the boxes of things you'd want to eat.
Yeah.
It's your food pyramid in a bowl.
Beautiful and hearty and nourishing.
Okay.
The best of everything.
Yeah. All right. Now this is, is this your favorite?
Well, you know, I'm dead set against the pumpkin spice, but Joy's got something, a latte that actually has pumpkin in it, which is my big complaint. There's never really any pumpkin.
Joy saves the day.
Al, I'm like hoping I'm on a mission to make a PSL lover out of you. So here's the thing, like if you're like me and so many people just become obsessed during October with these pumpkin spice lattes, instead of getting them out most days during October, if you end up making this version I'm going to show you, at the end of the month, you're going to save about $100 and 4,000 calories. Wow. I mean, that's pretty huge. Okay. And it's easy. So I'm starting with just 3/4 cup of milk. I have almond milk here, but this works with cow's milk. It works with soy milk, coconut milk, any milk goes. Here's the real pumpkin. It's canned pumpkin puree, and I'm just adding in 2 tablespoons. Whoops, this is my vanilla extract. Almost had a little, whoa, crash. So vanilla extract.
It looks good, though.
Here's a little bit of maple syrup and my pumpkin pie spice. Now, let me show you on the stove. We're just going to simmer this up.
Right.
Going to make the whole thing. Simmer it up. It's going to look like this. It comes together very quickly. And you pour it into your mug. And I'm going to add either 1 ounce of espresso, or I'm putting brewed coffee in, just 1/4 cup. And because everything's better with a little bit of whipped cream, guys, I'm going to give it a
There you go.
You know what? I think you're right, Al.
I would give that a
shot.
I really love that.
To try that.
Joy, thank you so much.
That looks
We're
great.
going to try that.
You are currently in Budapest. As I understand, you're shooting a film with Cate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis. What's it been like working with those two?
It's been amazing, man. You know, we got an amazing cast. We're shooting Borderlands, which is an IP has an amazing following of millions on millions. Director Eli Roth, Lionsgate's the studio behind it. You know, Cate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, myself, Jack Black. I mean, God, we got so many more. It's truly one of these situations where you stumble into an opportunity that could progress into being super, super big. You know, this is something that could easily go into part 2, 3, and beyond because of the world that we're playing in and the creativity within the space. So it's dope. It's something that's once again going to throw my audience for a curveball. I'm excited. Action on action. I'm responsible for the action in the movie.
What's the premise?
It's a game. You know, it's based off of a video game. So it's about the travel within planets and a search to find an individual that possesses the powers of being the quote unquote special one, you know? And in finding this particular individual, you can use their powers that they have to open up what's considered to be this magical thing called the vault, which so many people have been trying to get into for years. But to do it, you know, you have to have the keys to go and get it done. And it's about searching for those keys, searching for the individual. And that's the story in a nutshell. But a band of misfits are kind of put together by accident. And when they're put together, they don't want to leave each other's side and end up fighting against the quote unquote bad people that live in between these planets. So it's like sci-fi, but it's really good. It's grounded within that space as well. Think Fifth Element. Think along those lines. Yeah.
You continue to stretch your legs. I mean, let's talk fatherhood for a moment. Here's a film where I think a lot of folks are going to watch this, and they're going to say, oh, that's not the Kevin Hart I know. Like, we're used to Kevin Hart making us laugh, and not to give away too much, this is Kevin Hart in a completely different light. How hard was it to make the turn?
You know, it wasn't hard at all. I think there's no mystery from me to myself about what I'm capable of doing, especially in the space of acting. I know that I have range. I know that you know, I got a lot of diversity. So it's all about the projects. You know, when the right projects come along, if it's time for you to make those transitions, then of course you take it and you do it. The upside was when I felt was the right time for me to step into the direction of dramedy, and I had great company in doing so. And after that, it was like, okay, that was good. I need to find something on this level or better. And the next project that was brought up was Fatherhood. Marty Bowen had a script, brought it to me and my company at Heartbeat. And, you know, we were blown away from day one at Matt Logan's story. And when I found out that it was true, that's when it was like, okay, this could be it, because you're not only doing a project that's good on paper, you're doing a project that you would have to be good at and stay true to because it's real. That was enough for me. You know, when I got his reason, Matt was like, this is an opportunity to not only share my story, but bring light to a thing that happens that people don't really know happens often. And, you know, his journey from pain to happiness is one like no other. So my respect level went through the roof, and my appetite for a meaningful piece of material went through the roof as well. So everything lined up, man. Paul White's great director, met with him. And then the Obamas came in as producing partners as well. I mean, all of the boxes were checked that said go.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show.
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Your buddy B.O., as you call him.
Yo, B.O.
What was it like working with B.O. on a project like this? Would he call and give some tips, some feedback? Would he say, hey, Kev, I think maybe we should do this and not this?
You know, the thing about having good producing partners is producing partners knowing their roles and, you know, where their value is, right? And the value and promise in having the Obamas and their company as producing partners is them understanding a good IP, a good piece of content with strong substance and great meaning that could do nothing but spread a positive, needed message in today's time and in our culture, right? You know, you're talking about a black man on the big screen playing the role of a father in a positive light. I don't think I need to say it, but it's not something you see often, right? You don't see it in a positive light often. We're crackheads, we're in jail, out of jail, we're missing, we're a discovery at the tail end of a life. It's never truly a story that's like from beginning to end, one that you follow and one that's uplifting. So in this case, I felt that there was a need and real want behind the message that was being delivered. And, you know, without putting a stamp on the race card, it's visual of this being an opportunity to change the narrative that I feel desperately needs to be changed. So the Obamas got that. And he said, this is a great opportunity to uplift Black fathers and Black men and, you know, give a nod to those that are embracing fatherhood and maybe a little nudge to those that aren't correctly, you know? So we were lucky to have him to be a part of it. Once again, everything kind of lined up and all the right boxes were checked.
Amen to that, Kevin Hart. Amen to that. How did you figure out how to cry on cue for the film?
I mean, you're pulling on emotional strings. You know, it's a heavy story. It's a heavy story. When I first read the script, honestly, I teared up in the first 30 pages. You know, when what happens, it got to me because it's like, damn, you know, this is the happiest day of you and your wife's life, and you know, 9 months have been spent looking forward to this particular day, and on this day to have something tarnish that or be taken, it's that's tough. That's tough to process. That's tough to register. And those that have had that happen to them, my prayers and condolences go out to them because I couldn't imagine. I really couldn't imagine. So it was putting myself as deep into that as I possibly could to help me get the emotional response that I did. And, you know, it also helps when you have an amazing cast around you. You know, I mean, I'm with Alfre Woodard, and it's, I mean, you're talking about the cream of the crop, the best of the best. So, you know, those emotions come out more when you see other people putting those emotions on display at the thought of. So your game is raised by your surroundings.
And you obviously are a father of 4 yourself. How did you draw on your own experiences with fatherhood for the role?
That was my cheat sheet. A lot of the stuff that I was doing, I had already experienced, right? So it wasn't like I was playing in a heavy false pretense for some of the stuff. Like I have 4 kids and I'm on all different ages across the board. So, being able to be hands-on, being able to be a part, I know where the nervousness comes from. I know where the confidence comes from. I know where the fear comes from. I've been there, I've truly lived in it. I had to find comfort in discomfort at one point in being a father. And I think so many other fathers do as well. It's just about acknowledging that, understanding that, and being true to that. And I was able to do that. I was able to take that ammunition that I had and apply it to this particular movie. And it worked. I think it really worked in my favor, and it shows on the big screen.
What's been the hardest part of being a dad? What do you struggle with the most?
Hardest part of being a dad is the feeling of, am I doing a good enough job? Well, it's not a struggle. I think that's the wrong word. It's a thought that's always in the back of your head. Okay. Because as your kids get older, the real world is magnified, right? And you can protect all you want. You can pamper or do your best to do and take care of. But ultimately, that kid has to go out into the real world and experience life on their own. So with that thought in the back of your head, it's one of, did I do a good enough job to prepare? Are they ready? Are they capable? Are they going to get eaten alive and spit back out into reality? It's like these are the things that you have tug of war with, right? So, my daughter's 16, my son's 13, about to be 14. My youngest son is 3, my daughter's 8 months. So, once again, I'm very much spread out, but still, I got a 16-year-old, right? 18 is right around the corner. Am I doing a good job as a father? Am I present? Am I honest? Am I open? We're close. Are we close? Like, it's something. And I think that's what keeps you, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you on your feet, and it keeps you in a position to always push and want for more. And that's within a relationship.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world. Love it!
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
You've been in the game a long time as a dad, as you pointed out there. You had a child during a pandemic. How was that?
Little PD, little pandemic, baby. Look, it's amazing. You know, I mean, being privileged to bring a child into this world, that's a blessing within itself. You know, it's unfortunate that the times were what they were, but a blessing is a blessing, and I'm not going to take it as anything other than that. My little princess, you know, we got a new boss of the household, and I love that there's always a changing of the guard. Everybody's had an opportunity to wear that hat, that boss hat, and right now Ori has it. Got me wrapped around a little finger, starting all over. You know, once you thought you were closing, they were getting out the house, and then I went in and put two more in there, and I'm right back at the starting line. So it is what it is, man. I love it. I enjoy it. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
How have you changed as a dad? I mean, when you started, you were much younger.
Yeah. 41, about to be 42. You grow.
Yeah.
I mean that's the great thing about life, right? You grow as you go. So I'm very much happy into the man that I've become. The man who I was, I'm very much happy that I was that man, that I did the things that I did and got to experience a lot of the things that I experienced, because without those moments and without those things, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in the position I am now to be poised, polished, you know, mature, just a true adult. And I'm not done adulting. I'm not done growing. You know, you don't get there. The wise are the old, and I truly believe that. You know, there's nothing more refreshing than a conversation with somebody of older age, because there's so much information that comes from that person because of how much they've lived. And what you find is that the information is key to the next wave's success. But sometimes this next wave is a little too stubborn, too cocky, too bullheaded to receive it. At the older age that I am now, I've been in the position to receive a lot of those gems, and I think it truly is the beauty of life to watch time go, but to watch people grow. It's dope as hell to me.
You're a father of four. It would seem to me, at least, not a stretch to be a father of five, maybe six. Have you given thought to doing it again?
Oof. It's been a discussion, you know. I just told you this my baby Ori, you know, Ori's a blessing. I don't turn down a blessing. Now, am I planning for a number 5? No, I'm not. If a number 5 were to happen, then oh joy. Okay. Oh joy. But right now, I think 4 is a good number. We're in a good place, man. Got some dogs, got some kids. We're fine. 5, you know, we don't need to push for 5. Not right now. I think we're in a good space. Yeah. So, you know, we'll see. But I don't run anything. I don't know why I'm talking like I can make these decisions. If my wife decides she wants another baby, I gotta have a baby. Yeah, there is no pushback for me, man. None.
There was the accident a while back, and you suffered a pretty serious back injury. I caught some video online recently. You seem to be back 100%. Saw some video of Kevin Hart in the gym, and it looks like you're training for something.
Yeah, I'm definitely 100% back to myself. Currently in the best shape that I've ever been in. I mean, I got in crazy shape for Borderlands because, once again, rolling is the action. I'm all stunts. I'm all my own. You know,
you're doing it all yourself.
I'm doing a lot of that stuff myself. I got a great team. 2 great stunt guys, man. Two great stunt guys that have been with me for quite some time. And, you know, what we do is we put me in positions to do as much of it as I possibly can. You know, when it gets to be something crazy, my guys step in, but I love to be extremely hands-on and get in there. And I did a lot of training for this movie. So I got down to about, I'll say maybe 10.5, 11% body fat.
Wow.
And, you know, all muscle, but I've never looked like this. I've never been in this shape ever in my life. This is definitely the best shape that I've gotten in at the age 41 and about to be 42. And I worked hard for it. So I love the results when you put in the effort.
What's left, Kevin Hart? What have you not done yet that you still want to do?
There's so many things in the entertainment space that I've been able to tap into. And what I found is that the more diverse you are, the more you can do, and the more you can elevate and create opportunities for those around you. That's what my newfound focus is. That's where my ambitions have rolled over to. So, you know, it's about finding the success and then creating bridges to get other people up here and over here.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement. Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
How you been? What's going on?
Drinking milk, getting tall.
So you in Budapest? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Big
Live from the pest.
I think that's not what their tourism bureau calls it. Kevin Hart has built a career by making audiences laugh. Now, the superstar comedian is proving he also can move them to tears.
Wherever you are, I want to go there.
Wherever you are, I want to go there too.
In the Netflix drama Fatherhood, Hart plays a single dad raising a daughter after the sudden death of his wife.
I'm going to do it because I'm a father.
I was ready for the Kevin Hart experience. Within, I think, 10 minutes, I was getting choked up.
This was an opportunity for me to expand my resume. People are going to be shocked when they see it and go, wow, you know, Kevin's got some dramatic chops.
2 kisses. 1 for mommy. 1 for me.
Well, I love the opportunity of being a black father on screen in a positive light. Most of the times they're on drugs, off drugs, in jail, out of jail. To have some type of positivity behind it and maybe be a part of kind of changing the stereotype.
Hart delivers that message with the help of another famous dad named Barack Obama. Fatherhood is co-produced by Higher Ground, the production company started by the former president and first lady. Is Barack Obama calling you with notes?
You know what? I actually did talk to Barack. You know, first of all, I think it's just crazy that I can say I talked to Barack on the phone comfortably.
And the fact that you can just drop and call him Barack, that's a statement right there of where you are.
Yeah, B.O. Call him B.O. Hey, B.O., what's up, man?
I'm sure he loves that.
Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? You tell me, B.O. I'm good. That's how it went down. The reason why they wanted to take on the project was because of the story and having them see and understand the positive message behind it. I mean, that's as good as it gets for me.
Hart specializes in positivity. His new book for middle schoolers, called Marcus Makes a Movie, is about a boy pushing through obstacles to chase a dream.
And I wanted to help motivate and inspire our youth to simply understand that the word no is just a word. Coming up as a kid, as a young adult, early in my career, I heard the word no a lot.
What's your message to the kids who might read that book, who are hearing no at school, they're hearing no in sports or in their music career, they think they're funny and they don't know how to get where Kevin Hart is?
I will say, you know, I think it's not about getting where I am, it's about getting where you want to be, right? And all I am is an example of what's reachable, what's obtainable. And what I learned is that talent is amazing to have, but hard work is going to possibly beat talent every day of the week. Hard work plus talent is undefeated.
In a year when the rest of the world slowed down, Hart's relentless hustle continued. He performed a hit 2020 Netflix stand-up special from his own living room, with his family getting ready for bed upstairs.
I'm no longer comfortable anywhere else but my house. I don't like people anymore.
What was that like? How do you put together an act differently than being in Madison Square Garden, for example, standing in your living room?
Well, you know, we wanted to do something very intimate.
Let's address the elephant in the room. COVID. Newsflash, I had it. The vid-19 was in my system.
It wasn't necessarily about the performance. It was just about me being honest about my life, the pandemic.
When it first hit, I went and put gas in all the cars. I bought every N95 I saw. I spent 20 grand on N95s.
There's just a comfort that comes with being honest and aware. And that was about me having a realization that I'm good.
Does that come with experience and success too, where you now frankly can say, I don't need to go do that project because I'm good with who I am and where I am?
It comes with experience, success, and also a true understanding of what happy is. There's a thing where this is going to make me happy, and if I get this, I'll be the happiest person ever. And then you get it. And then you go, oh, but if I get this is going to make me happy. This is all I need. But when you really realize it's about the people, family, the love, the connection, well, then things kind of change.
Everything nearly changed one night in September of 2019, when Hart was a passenger in a single-car crash that left him with serious injuries. How much of this perspective that I'm hearing right now, Kevin, comes from the experience of surviving the car accident that you were in and being able to come home and see your wife and see your kids and appreciate everything?
I mean, tons. Understanding that you're not in control, that's a big deal. At any point in time, it can be over. Snap of fingers, over. I'm fortunate and lucky to still experience life.
I don't think most people appreciated how serious your injuries were.
Yeah.
You broke your back.
Almost paralyzed.
Almost paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
Are you recovered today?
100% recovered. I was very lucky to still be able to walk. You know, you're talking about a couple centimeters. That's what separated me and being paralyzed.
1 year after the crash and right in the middle of a pandemic, Hart welcomed a new member of the family. his second child with wife Aniko Parrish. Hart relishing his real-life fatherhood.
How's your baby girl?
Oh man, my baby girl is amazing. Kayori, my heart. So in love, as I am all my kids, of course. But you know, we got a new boss in the household, so it's an exciting time. It's me sitting down and getting to really tap in with my loved ones, with my wife and my kids. It was a really good thing for me.
We've been waiting for this segment. Okay, one way to boost your energy is by changing what you eat. So we brought in NBC News and health nutrition editor, our pal Madeline Fernstrom. She's going to talk about superfoods.
Okay, so when she talks about them, we also brought in a chef, Chef Kevin Curry. He's the guy behind Fit Men Cook, to show us how to work those superfoods into a meal.
All right, let's get started, Madeline, because first things first, I always wonder this. Like, some days I'm depleted of energy.
Yes.
Sometimes I have tons, and I always try to break it down. Like, what did I eat? So what are the good foods that are good for energy?
Okay. When you think about energy, you want to think about complex carbohydrates. That means they're fiber rich. They're digested more slowly. So all your body cells are getting a steady stream of energy. And when you have that energy for fuel, you're going to stay perky and energized all day. It's that stream of fuel keeping your blood sugar stable.
Oats are a biggie. You got to have oats.
Oats, whole grains, potatoes. All of these are going to be really good to give you that sustained energy, because you don't want that little pop. You want it to last a long time.
Okay, so let's get to the first superfood that you swear by.
Okay, one of my favorites, and it's eaten around the world, these are sweet potatoes. You can eat them anytime. They are nature's perfect carbohydrate because they are a complex carbohydrate. They have a lot of fiber. They're nutrient dense. They're filled with vitamin A, vitamin C, magnesium, potassium. And what they do is give you that steady stream of energy because they're digested slowly. Remember, fiber rich. They're also very rich in potassium. Potassium is a salt. You hear about electrolyte balance when you exercise. It's really needed for that. So it's perfect. And an added plus, it's sweet, but without added sugars.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
All right, well, we need Chef Curry. Okay, so Chef Curry, we got our potato. What are we going to eat?
Yeah, I got you, Madeline. This is a great recipe. These are some sweet potato salmon cakes. So you're going to get a boost of a whole lot of good stuff. So we've got our baked sweet potato here. And this is a cooled down, just mash it up in a bowl. Now you got to add in the personality. So we've got some smoked paprika or some chili powder. Add in a little bit of turmeric for some inflammatory health. And then we're going to add in some gluten-free panko, just a little bit, and then some green onion. Now, going to mix this together. Now, this is an eggless recipe, and here is the reason why. We are going to be using salmon to go ahead and do this. Now, my good friend Jamie Oliver taught me this. Really, we're not good friends. He just follows me on like IG, but he doesn't like my photos or anything. But it's okay, Jamie. I haven't even thought about that. So we're going to chop it up into chunks and then mince it like this. And when you mince it,
is it raw or have you already cooked it?
Yes, this is raw. This is raw salmon, and we're just going to mince it with a knife. No food processor is needed, and it gets really sticky. And this helps everything to stay together. So we're going to add this into our bowl, mix this up just like this, mix it up, and you get this beautiful texture. So you're going to form some patties, fire up a nonstick skillet, add in a little bit of olive oil, and you're going to cook these for about, I'd say about 5 to 6 minutes on each side. You can even place these in the oven. And the cool thing about this is you can also bake this recipe. You're going to get these sizzling. And then let me tell you, afterwards, about 10 minutes later, you have these gorgeous, beautiful salmon patties.
Yeah, sweet potatoes.
With sweet potato.
That's awesome.
Delicious, Madeline. Those combinations are great. Salmon, sweet potato. You have another good one that is a Hoda favorite.
This is, a favorite area when it's a match made in heaven. It's peanut butter and bananas. I mean, who doesn't love this? A match made in heaven because it's energy now and later. You have the banana that's going to be a starchy fruit that's going to be digested more slowly because of all that fiber. And then you'll get that boost of energy, plus the longer lasting boost from peanut butter. That heart healthy fat slows digestion down even more. So you'll get a pop of energy now and later. And you can combine it however you like.
All right, Chef Curry, I know how I do it. I peel the banana and slather the peanut butter on it. But I bet you have a better recipe.
She uses it as a spoon,
too. Scoop it right out.
Same thing with me too. So this time we're going to make some cookies though with this. So we're going to mash up a ripe banana in the bowl, and then we're going to add in our natural peanut butter. Now make sure this is the natural peanut butter, right, Madeline? Not the kind that's got all the sugar and everything else. This is just natural peanut butter with the oil.
Really?
Then we're going to add in a little bit of coconut sugar or some brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to beat up an egg, whisk an egg up, add that in there to our mix. Boom. Add in a little bit of the salt, just a little bit, a pinch of salt there. And if it's payday, you can add in some vanilla bean. If not, just add in some vanilla extract. Mix this together. And, you know, I'm not sure about y'all, but I like chocolate chip cookies. So we're going to add in a little bit of antioxidant-rich dark chocolate. Sprinkle that in. Boom. And then you mix this together, and this is your cookie batter. Now, you can put this into the fridge if you need this to firm up just a little bit, but then you're going to scoop it out just how you would normal cookies and then bake these for about 10 to 12 minutes. And look at this. Beautiful, dense cookies.
Oh,
Oh, my